What's up, Doc? Can we rock? Hey, man, I got the legend back with me the other day. I had to bring him back. You know what?
Are you having internal somewhere?
Am I having what?
Got you. It was an echo.
Hey, God. If I owe you something, get it from God. We in here, man. I got the legend back in here. We want to feature some of his artwork and just ask some important questions that, you know, some of y'all may want answers to. We sitting right here with a real live soldier. Real live Black Panther, man. Somebody that's inspired me over the years. Mohammed, we're going to jump into some questions, man. Make sure y'all put that Discord link in there, too, because I'm going to let y'all in on Discord fairly soon, just in case y'all have some questions. We're going to start with these two pieces of artwork, man. We're going to start with this Marvin Gaye. Y'all see this Marvin Gaye painting. You know, tell these people how long it took you to do that, how much you're charging for it, where they can find you. You know, we love to showcase our elders on here. Go ahead and have at it.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. That Marvin Gaye piece is one of my recent pieces that I did. It took about a week or two to do. It's 4 feet by 5 feet in size, and it's an original wall painting.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get about 30 grand for it.
30 grand, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man.
But I will have some limited editions
on
campus available for anyone that can't afford the original. They can buy one of the limited editions.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. We definitely want to support, man. If you bought a new crib, you got a wall big enough, and you want to have some art painted by a legendary figure, we're gonna build value today, so you can know exactly who you're getting it from and why you're paying that price. And next to it is that Nina Simone. Tell everybody the history behind that.
That is a limited edition piece that from the original. The original piece was a 48 by 60, same size as a little bit smaller than Marvin. And the limited edition is available for anyone who's interested for $1,500.
Right.
Yes.
Hey, get the original for $1,500, man. I'm selling art. You didn't know that? You didn't know I was an artiste? Shout out to my Uncle James Spearman. He painted most of the murals in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He painted the big old Jimi Hendrix on the roof. James Spearman, my grandmother's brother. Shout out to him and his wife. Love and respect. So the other day we had you on the show. We talked about the journey with the Panthers. I just want to go over some questions and clarify some things because I feel like, you know, there were some things that you said that that may have caught some people off guard. You know, I don't think a lot of people understood that you guys considered yourself an army. When were you enlisted? What was your official date?
October 68.
October 68. What do you remember about that day?
I was coming out of high school one day, and there was a gentleman standing outside passing out flyers to promote Eldridge Cleaver speaking at South Park on 51st and Avalon.
Okay.
He said, "My name is John Huggins. I'm with the Black Panther Party." And he said, "You want to come help us?" I said, "Sure."
Man, just that easy.
Yeah.
You wasn't playing no sports or nothing in high school? You wasn't playing football?
Oh, I was running track.
So you was able to stay on the team?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was a junior at Centennial High School at the time.
Okay. What was your event? What did you run?
I ran the 660.
Okay.
And the 880.
Okay. All right. How did you tell your family and your friends, your parents, cousins? Did you tell them you was joining, or that was a surprise?
I didn't say nothing to nobody.
So how did they find out?
They slowly started seeing me evolve into a different kind of guy.
Right. Right.
Start becoming more politically conscious, and the way I would let them know slowly but surely. They'd see me with the Panther papers.
Yeah.
And they saw me with my leather coat.
And why is our son saying fuck Nixon? We don't get it. Fuck Richard Nixon, son. You were just playing basketball last week. Now it's fuck Richard Nixon.
Yeah, Richard Nixon was the president of the United States at that time. Yeah.
That's funny. So what were your reasons? I mean, because look, you were very young. You were 16. You were in the Panthers for 2 years. Do you feel like the reasons that you joined are the same reasons that you stayed, or once you joined the organization, did you find other things that you didn't even plan on finding that kind of made you willing to stay and fight for the cause?
You got to understand at the time the impact that the Black Panthers had on the nation. And when the news came out that these black guys marched up to the state capitol with these black leather coats and carrying shotguns and rifles and pistols, protesting the end of the open carry law.
Right.
It was a bold move, and it became a national headline, and it was, on ABC News, NBC, the local newspapers, these images of these black guys. Everybody wanted to be a Panther.
Right.
It was like we fighting back, and this was like right after Martin Luther King had got killed. When King got killed, that really sparked a movement to join the Black Panther Party, because the Black Panther Party symbolized the most significant, the strongest force fighting back against the system.
Right.
Everybody was hurt when King got killed, because King, he was all about peace.
Right.
But he died violently.
Right.
You know.
Did it match? Because as children, and you were a young man when you joined, your imagination tells you it's going to be one thing, and then you join it, it's something else. Did it match your imagination? Like, what did you think it was going to be what you joined, and then what did it turn out to be once you were in it?
Well, growing up in Compton, I hadn't really come up against or seen or been a witness to the police brutality and aggression that was being propagated. And when I came to South Park for that rally, I seen all these black people with leather coats. It was like thousands of brothers and sisters. It was really something that I wanted to continue to be a part of.
Right.
You know what I mean? And these guys were hardcore guys that come out of prison and came out of the military. They,
Man.
Yeah, they symbolize strength.
Right. What was the basic training like as far as the physical aspect? Push-ups, sit-ups, running? Like, how did they physically prepare you guys for war?
No, they didn't. They were teaching us how to become regimented, because a lot of the guys were from former military guys who knew how to shoot weapons and make bombs and do that type of stuff. And in the process of becoming a real Panther, we were becoming politically educated.
Right.
We had to go to the PE classes, political education, at the headquarters on 41st and Central.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, every week for 2 months. That was required, that you had to go to PE classes.
Right. Any martial arts training?
Not that I was a witness to.
Right.
No.
Did you meet Huey P?
Never met Huey. No. Met Eldridge.
Right. Okay, you met
and
Eldridge.
Bobby.
And Bobby Seals.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you describe how you felt the first time you thought it would be some type of combat as a Panther, where you thought, man, it's time to bust our guns and we about to go to war?
When you heard about a lot of different incidents that was going on locally and nationally, where individuals would go out on missions and end up either getting killed or killing some situations.
Right.
And you hear about people going to jail, and that the more and more that happened,
right,
the more you were fully aware of what you was involved with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It was no joke.
That wasn't no joke.
Did you ever do recruiting? Once you got in, did you recruit your friends to join?
There was a young man, a couple of people that wanted to hang out with me and wanted to see what I was doing, and I invited them all to come to the Black Panther office. And once they started coming and saw what the program was all about, in some cases they joined.
Wow.
They were friends of mine.
Right, right. Were you considered to be young for a Panther? Did they recruit young?
Yeah, there was quite a few young people in the teens and early 20s that a lot of the leaders of the Panthers were like no older than 30.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, young cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
they were bold, and you know, you becoming a Panther, you grew up real fast, being around older people than you.
Right.
You know,
Did you guys ever kick anybody out?
a whole lot of people got kicked out. I got kicked out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had a national purge that took place.
Wow, why was they kicking brothers out?
I think that a lot of that had to do with the FBI implants that had become Panthers, and they were doing strategic moves, getting rid of folks that they thought were dangerous.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, when the Black Panther Party split up into two organizations, what was left of the Black Panther Party really wasn't nothing.
Right.
Compared to what it was before.
Who?
And what was the faction that left, that went underground, what they call underground, started a new movement, became the Black Liberation Army.
Right. Okay. Is there anybody you remember like, okay, wow, that's probably the plant, the agent that really hurt us the most?
A couple people I suspected that, at the end of the day, it left no doubt in my mind that they could have been that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
What was the first few months of service like? How long did it take you to adapt? You probably had to get up earlier. Did they make you eat
Well,
different?
I was still in school
Okay.
at the time. That once and John Huggins, I started tagging along with him when I first got involved with the Black Panther Party. I was riding around with him and his wife, Erica, different places they would take me, and introducing me to other Panthers that were veterans that were already in the party before I joined.
Right.
And they were giving me instructions and orders to work with these people every day.
Right.
And I would go out and do whatever.
Yeah.
Sell newspapers, function at the headquarters, doing different things. I ended up working with Elaine Brown, who was like a big sister to me.
Okay.
And she ultimately became the Deputy Minister of Information when John Huggins got killed. And she started a newsletter that came out twice a month.
So who killed John Huggins?
The members of the Maulana Karenga's group, the US organization.
Okay, so he
got killed with Bunchy
with
Carter.
Bunchy. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The two of them got killed together.
Right.
On the campus of UCLA.
Right. Okay, okay. See, I always thought the FBI, do you think the FBI sent the US organization to do that, or that was just because of the strife?
Well, I think that what they had going on were people that they planted whose job was to cause dissension between the Black Panther Party and other groups.
Right.
And dissension within the Black Panther Party.
Right.
Caused the Black Panther Party to implode.
Right.
Feel me?
Yep.
From infighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they start getting rid of members that were important pieces to the movement, like letters,
other people would take their place.
Right.
That would sort of guide the movement in a different direction.
Right.
Than where it was.
Right.
Because by that time, there was so many people that got locked up and killed. I mean, people were getting killed. I was going to a lot of funerals
Really?
of people that were Panthers that were involved in activities that, or getting stopped by the cops, or getting harassed by the cops, or getting set up by the cops to get killed.
Did they have a special way that they buried Panthers? Was there a special ceremony, a song? Like, how did they commemorate people at
Well,
their
we
passing?
had revolutionary songs that were written and created by other Panthers like Elaine Brown. She was a singer. And a lot of times when we had these Panther funerals, a lot of these songs were sung at these to pay tribute to the fallen soldiers.
Wow, I feel like I need to learn a Black Panther fight song or something. Is it a song you always sing?
Elaine Brown had an album called Seize the Time.
Seize the Time, okay.
And she wrote a book with the same name.
Oh, man. You remember any of them songs, man? Something you could teach us, man? I
The
want to.
revolution has come off the pick. Time to pick up the gun off the pick.
Revolution has come off the pig. Time to pick up the
We
gun.
were calling the police the pig.
Right. That's hilarious. Wow. So did that make you more popular amongst your peers when they found out you were a Panther?
Yeah. In a lot of cases.
So the women just started coming from everywhere.
No, it wasn't like that. I mean, the women were joining the Black Panther Party.
Right.
Becoming in powerful positions. They were leaders, becoming leaders.
Right.
And all over the United States.
So was your goal to be a soldier, or did you see yourself leading the party one day?
No, I didn't see myself like that. Because I stayed in my lane. I utilized the talent and ability that I had as a photographer and doing art, doing illustrations for the newsletter, and working with Elaine. I was learning a lot,
Right.
and learning about the connections that she had with the white radicals in the Jewish community that gave us support.
Right. Also, there were white radicals in the Jewish community that supported the Black Panther cause.
Oh yeah,
What was
bunch
that?
of white folk.
What was the name of those? Some of those organizations.
Well, you had the Students for Democratic Society, one group, and then you had the White Panthers. You had the
there were actually White Panthers.
well, yeah, they called themselves that. But, they were students rebelling against the
Anarchist type.
yeah.
Wow.
And, they got a lot of them going on right now. A lot of those anarchists
Yes.
that come to these different situations and they add violence and try to create just like they had a
Chaos.
yeah.
Oh yeah. My cousin got killed by the passing of the police, and there was a lot of those types of people there protesting.
They weren't even from the neighborhood.
Weren't even from the neighborhood, but
Yes.
they used the murder of my relative to further their cause.
Yeah.
Yep. So I know exactly how that works. So what tools did you use that you learned from the Panthers? What tools do you still use that you learned from the movement? Like, what helps you in your everyday life now that you may have learned back then?
I've gone on to some other things in life that have, that whole Panther era has gotten so far away from me.
Right.
I don't even see it anymore.
Right.
I can reflect it when I talk to you and other people about my personal experiences now, but I can't see myself utilizing any techniques or any behaviors other than becoming more mature.
Indeed. Top 5 boxers of all time.
Top 5 boxers. Jack Johnson.
That's my number 1.
Sugar Ray Robinson.
That's my number 3.
Jersey Joe Walcott.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali.
No Hammer and Hank?
Hank Armstrong.
Hank Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, first 5 division world champ.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't bring his name up, but I got to put him in the top 5.
He's definitely in the top 5.
Yeah, he was no joke. So what? So Jack Johnson, number 1, I get that for obvious reasons. He is the genesis of everything a superstar boxer should
He
be.
knocked the doors down
Indeed.
so everybody else that looked like us could be able to be like him
Right.
and to become world champion in whatever division that they were in.
Right. And then number 2, you had Ali.
Yeah.
Ali. Okay. So for me, Ali is I got Sugar Ray Robinson and Ali neck and neck.
What made Muhammad Ali stand out the most from them? Because Muhammad Ali was outside the ring a fighter for black people.
Right.
Because he had become a Muslim and a member of the Nation of Islam, which was at that time a black nationalist
Right.
type of group. And his relationship with Malcolm X
Right.
in the beginning was something that caused him to become who he became.
Right. Now, you were a Muslim when Malcolm was alive, or that was after you went to prison? Okay.
I didn't when Malcolm was alive, I was in junior high school.
Okay.
And when he got killed, I was in the 7th grade in 1965.
Right. So you found the faith in prison?
No.
Okay, on the street.
No, I became a Muslim in 82
Okay, year I was born.
when I started studying the religion while I was a Christian in a church.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I started wanting to know more about Islam. So I started going over to the Islamic Center of Southern California on 4th and Vermont.
Wow.
And there was a magazine that came out called the Islamic World Review that came out once a month. There was a worldwide magazine that had articles written in it. There was a column written in it by Sheikh Ahmad Zaki Yamani, who was at that time the Saudi Arabian oil minister. And, some things that he would write in there would be inspiring to me to want to know more about the religion.
Right.
And I had a friend I went to high school with at Centennial High School named Leroy Connolly. His name is Dawood now. He got burned up real bad in a car accident while we were in high school. And right before I caught my bank robbery, he was hospitalized with severe injuries from that car accident. Burned him up real bad, lost fingers and stuff. And when I went to prison, I had saw him for the last time, went to visit him in the hospital. I didn't see him no more for almost 10, 12 years. I heard that he had become a Muslim.
Right.
And I heard that he was over at the Islamic Center a lot on 4th and Vermont during the time that I wanted to learn more about the religion. So I started going to these lecture classes at the Islamic Center in an effort to learn more about the religion while I was a member of a church in Inglewood.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Right.
Because they were talking Jesus Christ and, he was the Son of God and all this stuff. And I wanted to know more about Islam because a lot of the cats that I went to high school with were members of the Nation of Islam.
Right.
And I thought maybe Islam was more to it than that.
Right, right.
So I had to learn about it.
How did you break it to your pastor? Like, I know come on, brother. I mean,
didn't really tell him.
Okay.
I just drifted away slowly but surely from the church. And the more I saw these articles in the magazine, Islamic World Review, where they were talking about Muslims believed in Jesus and Moses and all, I'm saying, wow, I'm already believing in that, being in the church.
Right.
So I wanted to learn more about it. And once I started learning more about it, I started to embrace it more. And then I ended up taking my Shahada, which is what, when you take Shahada, you become a Muslim.
Right. So what would you do did you move to a different community when you became a Muslim?
No, I stayed in the same community.
So
but I started networking
with other people.
with other people,
So
especially people from around the world.
What church did you go to before you became a Muslim?
It was called the World One for Christ Ministry, First Apostolic Church of England.
Oh yeah, that name would have drove me up out of there too. I mean, that's. But when you would run into these people from First Apostolic AME Inglewood Church of God in Christ in the streets, and they're like, "Brother Mohammed, where you been at?" What would you just ignore them?
No, I wouldn't ignore them. I would, see, I got married to this young lady.
She was still a Christian.
She was a Christian. She was the one that motivated me to go to this church.
Wow. So were you able to convert the woman you were married to?
No.
Oh man.
No.
Did that break the relationship up?
No. Drugs did.
Okay.
There's a lot more to it, to this story.
Yeah.
But it really devastated. We became more of the victims of the national plague of addiction that took place over in the United States from coast to coast.
Crack epidemic.
In the 80s.
Right. It got my family too.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that works. So say you were a woman and you become a Muslim and she's a Christian. Do you have to remarry her in Allah's eyes in order for it to be recognizable?
No. It's in Islam, it's permissible for you to marry a non-Muslim or be with someone who is not a Muslim, as long as they believe in God.
Right.
That's the first step for that union to be okay.
Right.
As long as they're a believer. If there's someone that don't believe, then you can't even deal with them.
Right. Interesting.
Because there's only one God.
Indeed.
One creator of all things. The unseen God who created the universe and everything that exists. Everything submits to his will. That's what we believe in Islam. Right. That's what Islam is all about, peace and submission to the will of the creator of all things.
Right.
All the planets and stars in the universe. All the galaxies that exist out there.
Right.
Everything that us, all of this.
Right.
Created by the one creator. And everything submits to his will.
Hey, I can roll with that. Wow. Yeah, so that's very interesting because I never really thought about the dynamics between a husband and wife that are different religions. So when you and her separated, did you marry a Muslim woman or did you?
I ended up eventually marrying a Muslim woman.
Right.
But then we got a divorce eventually after a couple of years. And it wasn't because we couldn't get along. I couldn't get along with her because she wanted to use drugs and I didn't want to use the drugs.
Right.
The drugs don't discriminate.
When do you remember crack being on the scene? Like, when do you remember that
hit? In the early 80s.
Early 80s?
Yeah.
No, I had an uncle who was a little younger than you, but he said, man, when it was new, he said one time he was out there selling it and the police thought it was candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have a clue to what it was.
So
they were so used to seeing it in the powder form.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
yeah.
They were kicking down doors and busting drug dealers that were selling powder. When they saw this crack thing, they were like, what the heck is this? And it was the most devastating thing that a person could do to get hooked on that stuff.
Indeed. I mean, I come from the generation, that you produced. And I definitely, aunties and uncles, it definitely changed the family.
Everybody, every level of life, entertainment, sports, movies, politics, that touched that got devastated by that.
Man.
The guy behind you right now,
Marvin Gaye,
one of the greatest singers, producers, writers that existed. He fell victim to it too.
Crack cocaine, he sure did.
Whitney Houston, the mayor of D.C.
Right.
Aaron Pryor, world champion. Michael Dokes, heavyweight champ.
Right.
boxers, entertainers, common folk. Touch that, wipe them out.
You ever meet Marvin Gaye?
I met his brother,
Okay.
Frankie Gaye. I used to manage a club in the late 70s when I wasn't messing around with crack. I was snorting cocaine.
Right.
And I was the club manager at this club called the Disco 9000, which was a popular place in L.A.
Right.
A lot of entertainers and people would come up to the Disco 9000, hang out and party. Frankie Gaye came up there one night.
Right.
And the security guards that was working for me came to me and said, "Look, Marvin Gaye's brother's at the door. Can you let him in?" I said, "Yeah, let him on in." So he walks up to me, he says, "Hey man, I'm Frankie Gaye. I'm Marvin Gaye's brother." I said, "I can tell. You look just like him."
Wow.
Marvin had a recording studio down the street from the club near Wilcox and Sunset. It's still there.
Okay.
And I took a video of it. I'm going to show it to you. Matter of fact, I'll send it to you, the video.
Right.
It's still there, and it's owned by John McClain, who's the co-executive of Michael Jackson's estate.
Right.
And Ernie Barnes, who did the artwork for the Good
Shack.
Times background,
Mm-hmm.
The Sugar Shack.
the Sugar Shack. Well, there's a mural in the back of Marvin's studio. That's that Sugar Shack mural.
Oh, wow.
That Ernie Barnes painted.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember how crack was introduced to you? Like, do you remember?
Yes.
How did it happen?
A friend of mine, I think I mentioned to you, the guy named Ed Edwards introduced me to Don King. He was a drug dealer, and he had a limousine service, and he was, doing all kinds of stuff. One day he came to me, and he showed me. He said, "Man, this is how it is. If the police come, all you gotta do is toss it out like that, and it's gone."
Right.
And I wasn't even trying to mess with it at that time. And I was doing a lot of paintings for him that were decorating his condominiums in Las Vegas. And sometimes he would pay me in cash and powder cocaine.
Wow.
And I'd have a lot of cocaine around that lasts for a long time.
So you was just using cocaine. You wasn't selling it.
No.
Okay.
But I was getting it a lot like that in payments.
Right.
A guy owed me $1,000. He give me $500 in cash and $500 in cocaine.
Right. Right.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
And I could sell it if I wanted to, but it would just be around my house, And as long as I wasn't smoking it, I would stay sharp every day, keep money in my pocket. One day I was over at my friend's club. He had a nightclub called Jackie O's on Lyceum and Olympic. And his name was Demetrius. He's still around. He started messing with that stuff. And I had just left Ed Edwards' office in Century City. Got paid for a portrait that I did of Sugar Ray Leonard for him.
Right.
And he gave me this ounce of cocaine and about $500 in cash. And I came over to Demetrius and I said, "Hey, D, look what I got here, man." And he said, "Well, why don't you cook that up for me?" I said, "I don't know nothing about that." And so I watched him cook it, and it came up into a little rock. I said, "Man, how does that make you feel?"
Right.
He said, "Man, don't you ever try to do this, man." I said, "Well, I want to see what it's like."
Oh, wow. Woo-wee.
Worst thing I could have did.
So I've heard from people that when you first hit the rock the first time, you hear a bell ring in your head.
You do.
That's some real shit.
Some real shit.
So is it true what they say? Once you're chasing that high every time you do it, you never quite get that high again?
Not unless you just get sober from that high and then try it again.
Wow. Yep.
It's taking a lot of people out, man.
Yeah, it's a terrible drug.
It's awful, man. It has destroyed a lot of lives.
So that was in 82?
That was, around 82 when I first started doing that.
How long?
And ironically, that was when I became Muslim.
Wow.
At the same time,
So you probably read the Quran.
I really wasn't focused.
You hit the pipe and smoked and read the Quran that night. You read the whole thing. So I know the Quran now. I know everything about it. I know where.
I was so divided in my life with that. It was unbelievable, man. But you know what? Through the grace and mercy of Allah, the last time I ever touched it was in the summer of '91.
Oh, wow.
And I ain't looked back since.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I done traveled around the world, London, Australia, across the United States, did some great things, hooked up with Mike Tyson and Don King, and did some great things.
What boxer do you remember? You like, oh, yeah, that motherfucker high in the ring. He's on crack in the ring.
I'm trying to think. What's this guy's name? He fought Lennox Lewis and lost.
McCall?
Oliver McCall.
You think
he looked like he was toe up from the flow up when he lost that second time to Lennox Lewis.
So you think he was on some crack? Wow.
Oh, yeah. And Aaron Pryor was really wiped out on it.
While he was in the ring?
He had to be.
Wow.
Because outside the ring, his whole life was
in shambles.
Yeah. He was making lots of money, man.
What is it about it? When people smoke that, do they go into like a trance where they're really just out of touch with reality? Like,
yes, I think so.
Oh, so once you came back to, you're like, wow, this ain't even. I wasn't even on this planet.
When I got busted, and I was going in and out of jail in the '80s, late '80s especially, hanging out at MacArthur Park over on Wilshire and
right. Well, yes, when we used to buy the fake IDs.
Still do it. They still got it over there.
That's the fake ID capital of the world.
Yeah, it is. It is. At that time, MacArthur Park was like a supermarket for crack. And they had Latinos from all different countries, Central America, South America,
right, that
were competing for customers that
like
would come in and out of that,
right,
that park. Man, I was getting busted, man. And, I could walk down the sidewalk and you could find rocks laying on the sidewalk that people that left behind from running from the police.
Yeah, wow.
It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Wow. So 91. So 91, you get off of it.
Yeah.
What was the final straw where you were like, man, this is it. I'm done with it?
Well, at the last time I went to jail in November of '90 for possession, and ended up going to state prison for violating probation, joint suspended probation. It was while I was in prison that I made my mind up that I wanted to start living again. Once I came home, I wanted to start dressing nice and start going places and doing things. I knew I couldn't do that messing with that stuff. And the big motivator was my two kids, my son and daughter, were in a foster home because my wife and I had separated in '85, and she kept the kids, and she would start using that stuff and ended up losing the kids.
Right.
And they put them in two different foster homes. So I had to make my mind up. Look, if I'm going to be able to help them, I got to keep myself together.
Right.
So when I came home, my friend E.J. Jackson had Jackson Limousine Service, who I've been knowing since the 70s, gave me a little job driving limousines. Got me a little apartment and kept going back and forth to Children's Court. Got my daughter back. She started living with me. She was 9 years old at the time. And then I got my son. and I got a bigger space, bigger apartment. So the three of us, and I'm raising them from the time they were 9 and 10 years old till they got out of high school.
Wow.
And I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have got them back if I was all messed up on the crack.
Right.
And it's been a wonderful thing for me to be able to reflect on how I did it, where I'm at today. It's truly amazing. God is the greatest.
I agree, 100%. Wow. Man, I appreciate you taking us on this journey. You know, hopefully y'all learn more about the OG. You know, he's a blessing in our community. He stays around comedy. I don't know. We got so many connections, but I feel like I get that spirit of Red Fox from him, man. I'm heavily influenced.
Red was my friend, man. He was cool people, man. I love.
I'm heavily influenced by Red as a stand-up comedian. So,
yeah,
you know, yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on. Again, tell people where they could inquire about purchasing these paintings.
Well, you can go to mubarakart.com and Mubarak 06 on Instagram.
Okay, we're going to field a couple questions in the Discord. How many people we got in Discord?
We got a couple in the Discord.
All right, man. So anybody got questions for the OG, we're going to field a few questions. Make sure you click the video and take your phone off mute. We're going to let the first person in. Tell me their name first.
Actually, it's Jameson.
Jemerson. Okay, Jemerson, you know what to do. If you can hear my voice, turn the video on, turn on your audio. I'm going to let you guys ask some questions, man.
Yeah. He has on. Okay.
Let's run it.
1 second. And sorry. There we go. All right.
Jemerson, what's going on, man? Hit the audio.
Your audio. Your audio.
All right, can you hear me? Man, I cannot hear you, bro.
It should be in the. It's not on our end.
Yeah, we can't hear you. If you can hear me, we can't hear you. I can see you perfectly fine.
Other people didn't let us
You sound like you're trying to talk.
Yeah, we can't hear him. Bring him back in a second. Let's take the
All right.
next caller. Call right back, man. Get that fixed for us so we can get you in, bro. We're going to go to the next caller. Hey, if you can hear my voice, man, click the video, unmute your phone.
All right. It's not in there.
Who we got coming in?
They went away. I'm trying to get the person back. Log back. There you go. Here you go. It's right here. Go ahead and put your camera on some. Put your camera on and you mute so I can put you over. Come on, y'all.
Come on, Slim.
Put your camera on.
Put your camera on, buddy.
All right, gotcha. There you go.
All right. Can you hear me?
Wait, why people? I can't hear anybody today.
It's got to be something on our end if it keep coming like this, Sarah.
I know, but
Unmute them.
I don't have a mute. I don't have a muted. That's the thing. It's crazy. I don't have it muted.
Yeah, something on our end. We got to get that figured out. Wow.
Oh, what'd you say? You say something? Say it again. Talk again, Slim.
That was Muhammad saying something.
Oh, sorry.
No, I didn't say anything.
See, all the volume's up. Not sure why.
Something isn't plugged in. Dang, man. Mouthpiece wants to know if the Panthers have a good brisket recipe. They had to have a Panther pie or some type of... It had to be...
We had what we call Panther piss.
Okay, this is drink. This has got to be drink.
It was a drink called the Bunchy. Silver satin with bitter lemon.
Okay. So we're going to bring that back. Silver satin with bitter lemon. The Bunchy, after Bunchy Carter. Yeah, we're going to bring that back. I'm a drink a Bunchy today. Pause, man. We're going to try it again, Sarah.
I'll try it again. Put your camera on and unmute your phone. Is that, all my stuff is the same as it was. I'm not sure what's happening right now.
Let's get it together. We're going to go on a quick break so we can get this issue fixed.
Okay.
And let's get it fixed, and we'll be right back. Give us about 4 or 5 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes. Hold on just a second. Let me write that. Today. Wow. All right. Anyway. All right. We're going to go to a break.
We'll be right back, fellas. If I owe you something, get it from God. God.
And we're back.
All right, we're back, man. Bring y'all goofy asses back in here, man. We got some real. We're going to fill these questions for some of our callers. First of all, I want to shout out to the homie in Orange County, OC. His wife passed yesterday.
Yeah.
We're going to try to figure out something we can do for the OG. We love him and respect him. And at the end of the day, man, community over all the bullshit, man. And we like family out here, man. So rest in peace. Rest in peace to the homie's wife. Let's go ahead and bring Jemerson in.
All right, here we go.
What's going on, man?
What's happening, big bro? What's happening?
Oh, man, chilling, man. Hey, man, I already know you got some insightful questions to ask the OG, man. I'm going to let you take the floor and go ahead and ask what you want to ask.
Okay. Well, I hadn't known that you had got, gone through addiction or whatever, but I was wondering how it made you feel to see Huey go down like the way he did, man.
It was heartbreaking because I knew and felt at that time that the federal government was behind all that.
Right.
And because they was trying to destroy the Black Panther Party. And I believe that they used drugs, cocaine in particular, as a diabolical plan to destroy not only the Black Panther Party, but the Black community.
Right.
And so many people that I knew that were members of the party got hooked on this stuff and end up becoming homeless and living on the streets. People that were powerful people in the movement at one time.
Right. Did you guys start targeting like drug dealers and robbing because that's how it's depicted later on down the line as the party started to dismantle that, Panther started robbing drug dealers?
I heard that was taking place up in Oakland.
Okay.
I heard some stories about, the Black Panther Party trying to extort the big drug dealers up there.
Right.
Felix Mitchell.
Right.
You know what I mean? I heard that. But I wasn't, privy to everything that was going on up there because I was down here in L.A.
Right. Completely different politics.
Yeah, different atmosphere.
Hey, that was a great question, Jemerson. We're gonna take this next call, man. We appreciate you calling in, bro.
Have a good day, y'all.
Love and respect.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
For all you something, get it from God. God. Next caller. Put your video on.
Put your video on, love.
Hey.
And we back.
Yeah.
I can hear you now. I gotta see you.
Shit, I thought I had the damn thing on.
Don't be
Yeah,
cursing in
hold
front of the
We can hear you, definitely.
Here we go.
All right, how you doing, bro? What's going on with you, Slim?
Hey, man. Can we vote for Trump?
We probably should, huh? Yeah, man. I
I
think
want to know for real, like, from my OG partner, salute, blessings.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother. What we supposed to do out in this motherfucker, man?
Well, I think one of the things that I think should be a priority is that black families should readdress their approach to the children in terms of the way that our history is brought down to them.
right.
Because I would say hundreds of thousands, if not millions of kids do not have any clue to what their history is all about
Right.
because their parents ain't passing it down to them. And the only thing that they care about right now is this whatever they see on TV or in the movies or the music they listen to.
Right.
That's the only thing they care about.
Yeah, 100% agree.
And
Okay, since you speaking on the music, like, you know, I see like how street culture is becoming black culture, and I say that meaning like you a part of my language, man. I don't mean no disrespect, but I'm a cussing motherfucker. I'll cuss a lot. I'm just
Okay.
passionate in the shit I say, and I don't mean no disrespect.
Just be yourself.
My man. So you will fuck around and see a doctor talking about I'm keeping it gangster or no snitching and shit. And it's like it's almost like street culture is becoming black culture. And I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. Like street is the streets and then there's black folk. Like, but it's so muddy that
What is
to
your
the point
what is your
black
definition
feel like
of
they
black
gotta be
culture?
street.
What is your definition of black culture?
Human, just being a human being. I think black people, everybody is just human. You know what I mean? Like, but you got street shit. I just like freedom, just human, just being human. You know what I mean?
Let me share this with
I
you.
don't know if I'm explaining it right, but
Yeah, because one black culture is our culture, our love for our people. Number one, our love for being black is the essence of our culture, and where we came
That should be on
from,
the album.
where we came
You should-
from. You understand? And how far back we have come from to where we are today. The growth and development of our communities and the way we love each other and what we represent as black people today is all about our black art, our black music, our black soul.
Mm.
Our souls is our culture.
Right.
You feel me?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The images that you see behind us of Marvin Gaye and Nina Simone, they represent black music in our culture,
Right.
our soul. That's part of our soul. And in spite of the fact that we have been enticed by alcohol and drugs throughout our history, we still have a history because our culture of knocking down doors and becoming trailblazers for other folk to come after we leave.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So our culture is very important.
That's a
And
great.
understanding the richness that we bring to the table as black folk.
TV, Sarah.
Okay.
Man, that's a
I
great.
agree.
That's, Slim, that's a great question and great answer, man. Hopefully you got the answer you was looking for. I'm gonna take this next caller, big bro. If I owe you
Hey, can I
something,
say one more thing before you go? Before
Go
y'all
ahead.
go.
Yes, sir.
no problem. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it 1,000 times every time I call. If I get the opportunity, man, I appreciate everything you doing, bro. We need this, and I salute all of y'all, man. I salute y'all because this is substance, man. This is real food for the spirit, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I really do, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Love and respect, good brother. And should I talk to you next time? Be safe out there. If I owe you something, get it from God. God. Next caller. That's my guy right there. Who we got next? Hey, if you listen, who's next? Tell me the name.
We actually they went away when I was to turn the TV on.
Oh, man.
But I do have a question for someone that cannot call in because they're at work. But they want to know, when did you see the switch from blacks being a group of empowerment, the Black Panthers being a group of empowerment, to money first?
Oh, the early 70s became a period where we sort of lost our focus because it was the movies, the black movies, and the music sort of drove us away from looking at society in a different kind of way than we were.
Right.
We were talking about overthrowing the government
Right.
through violence and through changing the political situation in order to change the conditions of black people in the community. We thought fighting back with guns was that way of doing it.
Right.
And because we were armed and organized, the FBI, the federal government, raised this arm against us in such a way where they had to figure out how to destroy this movement that we had developed.
Right.
This is why I say they used drugs. This was the diabolical plan that they had to get everybody's mind and soul all messed up on this stuff, where they, wasn't no more leaders
Right.
because the drugs took over our lives
Man.
and literally destroyed nationwide what we was trying to accomplish.
Hey, that's heavy, man. They targeted this man and destroyed families
Oh, man.
instead of providing more resources. At the end of the day, if we weren't starving and disenfranchised, there would be no reason for a Black Panther Party, And whenever we have to go to those means to be heard and respected, that's a system failure.
Yeah.
It's not a community failure. So the lesson in this is today, man. Hey, man, you can always bounce back, be incredible, and do incredible things. Before we end today's special show, we're gonna go ahead and let the brother Muhammad tell the people again where they can find him, how to purchase the paintings, and all that good stuff.
You can go to mubarakart.com, mubarakart.com. Check out my website and go to QMubarak06 on Instagram. Check out my Instagram. And I can give you my phone number. Should I do
Oh, no, we ain't gonna do the phone.
Okay, all right.
Reach out to me. There's some wild people out here, man. It might be somebody just breathing on the phone,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Just-
Because
Yeah.
somebody called me the other day after that other program,
yeah, right.
and they said something to me about some crazy shit. And I'm like, who is this? Who are you? And they hung the phone up on me. I'm like,
It's probably one of them Pink Panthers, man. We gotta keep them away from us. Hey, man, that's been this episode of Kraig Facts for the day. Interview with my.
Thank you for having me, man.
Oh man,
Appreciate
many more to come, man. We always come here and showcase your art. If I owe you something, get it from God. God, God, God.